Right, recording. So, hi you guys and welcome to my channel. I'm back with a new video and I'm so excited that you guys requested me to check out my favorite Khamzat Chimaev. The movie is this video called, and I respect him a lot, not just because he fighting out of my city, Stockholm, Sweden, but just how he is as a person. He seemed genuine and honest, and he had a tough life, coming to Sweden, trying to make ends meet as a young person, working night shifts at factories and stuff like that. Like, he's very relatable, and I respect that a lot. Like, I can relate to him. Just me before the social media, I was working night shifts at McDonald's, Burger King, call center, just trying to get by and have to do whatever you have to do, even if you don't like it or not. Because some people think that they're too good for that. But yeah, I've never been like that. But I'm not gonna ramble. We're gonna check out my favorite Khamzat Chimaev. So I have my fruit salad and everything here. So let's get straight into this video. Alright, you guys, sit back, grab your popcorn, and let's watch Khamzat Chimaev the movie.
What can you say about this guy and what he's accomplished in 66 days, I believe it is?
The guy's special. I've been in this game my whole life. I've never seen anything like him.
Khamzat Chimaev, this man's the real deal.
You see the training footage and you see the intensity that this guy pursues everything with.
He's just an absolute animal, non-stop in every way. Striking, wrestling, conditioning.
The word is, by people who train with him, they're like, dude, he is a freak of nature.
You've had guys that'll be like, let me talk to my team. This guy's like, I want to fight again here on Fight Island. I was like, really? We turn him around, he fights again, and he does it again.
He's had 3 or 4 fights in the UFC. He's only been hit twice.
What's crazy is when you talk about his win tonight and what he did and how impressive he was, he's a 170-pounder. He knocked out a guy who's 185 pounds with one punch.
Yep, that's what you do.
But I'm coming for everybody! Kill everybody! I'm the champ! Ah!
If I kill everybody, what are you gonna do?
Picking that man up and just having conversations with Dana White while he's got this man hoisted up in the air.
I wanna fight, bro. Fight. I love this shit.
I mean, he comes from a tough place.
Yeah.
From a tough place, you're going to create tough men.
One of the most special fighters I've ever seen, if not the most special guy that I've ever come across.
I like to fight in the cage and smash somebody. It's too easy. Smash somebody, you get money, brother. It's perfect for me.
So he's got like this tight-knit team until he goes to war. Then when he goes to war, he just wants to kill everybody.
I don't care what I'm gonna do, and now I'm gonna go jump in the cage and I'm gonna kill that guy.
The thing is, he talks a lot, but he shows it too.
With down, I will smash his face. I will bet.
On the eve of UFC 194, Conor McGregor pulled the impossible. After a series of spectacular wins to kick off his UFC career, he was set to match up against the featherweight champ Jose Aldo. Up until that fight, Aldo was on a winning streak that spanned over 10 years and 18 straight wins. Conor was on the rise, but still an underdog, understandably so. Aldo seemed unbeatable. You know how the rest of the story goes. McGregor sleeps Aldo in 13 seconds.
Oh, I didn't know!
And thus, his UFC legend took shape.
Oh, so that's... Oh, I didn't know.
On that same night, a
attention.
20-year-old boy watches the fight, itching to get inside the octagon,
Let's go.
in any cage for that purpose, and show the world what he can do. If he can do that, then why can't I, he said to himself. He dreamed of a better life. A life where no one around him would care about food or money. A more comfortable life. That kid was Khamzat Chimaev, and his legend was just beginning to form. Khamzat Chimaev was born in the war-torn Russian Republic of Chechnya in 1994. His birth took place just months before the bloody First Chechen War.
Was tough time when I was young. I come to this world when it's World War.
The village Khamzat lived in with his family was 50 miles away from the bloody violence in Grozny. And war was always looming over his family, threatening to spread towards their place of living.
Yeah, I was everywhere military, you know, like come to your house and check your house and everything.
Because of the daily war reminder, Khamzat didn't see violence as out of the ordinary. He saw it as a way of life. You see these things every day, and it's normal if you're a kid, he said in an interview for ESPN.
It's a war-torn part of the world. Horrible place to live.
War didn't interfere with his ambitions. From an early age, he took interest in wrestling.
Traditional sport in my village is wrestling. Yeah, you have to train wrestling, you have to be tough. If you don't do wrestling when we're kids, they say, like, we joke with the guys who don't come to the training, you girl, like, you know, like.
You just read about the Chetnians?
Yeah,
what
we
kind
just
of
did.
mentality
Yeah.
they are?
Tough fucking
That's
people,
the
man.
mentality, too.
Yeah, it's a very combat sports-driven country.
He started training when he was 5 years old and quickly became one of the best junior wrestlers in the country.
Your body is your tool.
Weighing only 18 kilos,
like tennis and how you need to buy equipment is expensive. It's only for a certain group.
he even fought in the 23 kilos category because he was too small. So he either had to wrestle older and bigger kids or not wrestle at all. Khamzat, being Khamzat, fought those kids. He fought kids in the street as well and often got into trouble. His older brother Artur recalls that after he was beaten up badly in one fight while being held at knife point, Khamzat was so angry that he wanted to kill those kids. He couldn't stand losing, inside and outside of the sport. Still, he pursued his professional wrestling career. His rise to prominence came during the Russian National Wrestling Championships, where he won bronze, becoming a household Chechen wrestling name before turning 18. At the age of 19, he moved to Sweden with his mother and sister. The move followed an earlier migration of his older brother, who was also a wrestler in the Scandinavian country, due to him needing shoulder repair surgery.
Our one brother, too, he has like surgery as well.
After a while, Khamzat's brother called upon his family to join him.
My brother was living here. He told us, like, come here, it's good for us. After that, we stay here. We like it.
Thus began Khamzat's journey to MMA stardom. They lived in a small village, similar to the one in Chechnya, minus the war.
When we come here, it was a small village here.
They're in Stockholm.
When they later moved to Stockholm, they were cramped in a small apartment. Khamzat and his brother in one room, his sister and mother in the other.
Living in this one apartment was who?
Me and my mom, my brother, sister. Yeah, me and my brother.
Now when they film it, they're in central Stockholm. Like me, I grew up in government housing. You know, it's around the city. It's not as nice as...
I was sleeping same room. My mother and sister was sleeping same room.
But Khamzat didn't wallow in misery due to his difficult circumstances. He dreamed. He imagined a better life for his family as he strolled around his new surroundings, seeing beautiful homes and dreaming of having one for him and his close ones. It's what we didn't know about Khamzat before. We imagined him to be a ruthless fighter, an emotionless automaton designed to destroy his opponents. Outside of the octagon, though, he's been showing his other, more emotional side. If you want to understand Khamzat, then you need to understand what drove him to become the fighter he is today. Of course, his relentless pursuit of mastery in the martial arts has helped immensely.
Soon, I'm gonna be pound for pound #1. I'm gonna be champion.
But it was the love for his mother that made him want to become a champion one day. Become one, as he said, to take the money home to his mother.
I will fight absolutely everybody. I will go out and smash all of them. I will make some money and I will take it home to my mom.
Finally making her live the comfortable life she deserves. From when Khamzat was a child up until he couldn't make a living on his own, his mother was the sole bread earner in the family.
My mom is important for me. That's why I'm working hard as well.
Khamzat at first didn't understand what his mother was doing when she refused to eat on certain occasions. Now he knows. She refused to eat out of wanting to see her children eat first. If something was left for her, then she would eat, but not before.
She thinks always about us. She wants, you know, it's when I was young, you don't understand why she gives his food to us. She was waiting for us, we finished the food and this is things she left, you know, she's eat this one.
That is what Khamzat is fighting for.
If she's happy, I'm happy.
He didn't immediately take to fighting when he came to Sweden.
Nope.
His brother landed him a job at a poultry factory.
I remember something like that, yeah.
And he also worked in security.
So I always was thinking, always was working.
After 1 year of work, Khamzat pleaded to his brother to let him go, so he could pursue something better in Stockholm.
But I said to my brother, after 1 year, let me go and try something else in the big city.
His brother wasn't happy with this request. Artur wasn't a huge fan of MMA, and he believed that Khamzat was able to secure a safe and good life where he was. Much better than living and working in Chechnya for sure. He was also worried that Khamzat would get into trouble, as he so often did in times past.
He was gonna go some troubles and do some push things, and he stopped me 2 years I was there.
But Khamzat was set on entering the MMA world. His brother eventually agreed and let Khamzat loose.
I find MMA, I said to him, I'm gonna make money. He said, I don't think you're gonna do that, but you can try.
Before he started MMA training, Khamzat made sure to assert his wrestling dominance in Sweden, like he did in his home country. He wrestled for the Swedish wrestling club BK Athén, and during his wrestling stint, he easily won consecutive gold medals in 2016 and 2017 at the Swedish Freestyle National Championships at 86 kilograms. In 2018, he won another one, but at 92 kilograms. What was more impressive is the manner in which he did that. He won his matches with a perfect record of 10-0, 10-0, and 10-0 throughout the tournament. In the final, it was the same story, a 7-0 win. His dominant performances made him one of the best Swedish wrestlers. After his dominance in wrestling, the time came for MMA. He began training mixed martial arts in the famous All-Stars Training Center in Stockholm, the breeding ground of famous UFC fighters such as Alexander Gustafsson, a 3-time UFC championship contender, as well as Ilir Latifi. He started training under the tutelage of retired UFC fighter Reza Magadi. In his chat with Brett Okamoto, Khamzat recalled his first day in the gym, where he quickly started a brawl with 2 other fighters.
The first day you came in, what happened?
I was boxing, sparring. It was water on the mats, chest pull down on my one knee, and he still punched me and take out my gloves, I kick in his ass.
His ill temper got the better of him, and he wanted to fight both of them at the same time. They refused, probably due to the sight of an angry Khamzat staring at them.
Come on, jump in. You and me. I'm the man, you're the man. And he said, I don't have time for that.
He had no money to live in Stockholm.
Yeah.
But due to his relentless work ethic and apparent talent, the All-Stars team of head coach Andreas Michael and Majdi Shamas, owner of All-Stars, decided to offer Khamzat free lodging at the gym. Khamzat would have a room all to himself inside the training facility.
People say they live in the gym, but I'm real living in the gym.
After
my UFC first 2 fights, I was living in the gym as well.
Coach Shamas recalls, I said to him, you look dedicated. You stay here, you don't go back. Khamzat stayed in that room for 4 years, being alone each night, staring at his phone and watching movies, waiting for his moment. Sometimes it was lonely in that room. All sorts of thoughts drummed into his mind. But his resolve was untouched. He would become a great UFC warrior.
He likes to compete in everything. Like, he's a very competitive. Like, doesn't matter what it is. It has to be like a competition.
He was very competitive, didn't like losing, and he was always getting into arguments with all the the other guys.
He would train 3 or 4, even 5 times a day, something that he continues to do until this day.
This guy, he goes hard. This guy, he wants it, you know. He doesn't want to lose one round in the training. So every time I spar with him, I have to be prepared.
As a training and sparring partner for his teammates is brutal, actually.
That work ethic and will has led him to always seek out the biggest challenges. In the gym, he always wanted to brawl with the biggest guys, the best guys, such as Gustafsson and Latifi.
I don't even know when it was, but then he just started to spar with me and all the light heavyweight guys, all the heavyweight guys.
It's what made the coaches take notice. Khamzat was fearless. Coupled with his talent and drive to succeed, that was a recipe for the ultimate fighting machine.
He's just too strong, he's too big, and he's too good, just technically.
People started talking. Rumors of a Chechen living in the gym basement, fighting Alexander Gustafsson and holding his own.
And he's just started. So that's the scariest thing with this guy. He just started his career, and
it was like a fireball, as they say.
Khamzat was itching to fight, whenever, wherever. Soon, he was ready for his first amateur MMA fight.
Hey, let's go.
It would come against future IMMAF world champion Khalid Lalam.
Fight!
You see the same movement that he does to you?
Khamzat defeated him by submission. He also easily won the next 2 amateur fights, the first one by submission and his second one by technical knockout. The dominance in which he dispersed his first 3 opponents made other people take notice besides his coaches, who already knew what they had in their hands.
There's a welterweight in Sweden, at Sweden MMA All-Stars, that trains Alexander Gustafsson. I don't know his name. I just know him by reputation. And he's not in the UFC yet, but he has a whole lot of success over all the big names that train at MMA's All-Stars. When we get this kid signed, I think he's going to make some real waves.
In 2018, Khamzat turned pro. At the International Ring Fight Arena 14, he fought against guard Olvasagen. Again, it was an easy fight,
Camera guy can do
which he won by technical knockout in the second round.
Whoa.
Afterward, he matched up with
You guys saw the difference? This guy didn't have a scratch.
Ole Magner in August 2018 at Fight Club Rush 3.
Like a meatloaf. Jeez.
He won the fight by submission due to a rear naked choke late in the first round.
Tap out. Oh no, he's gone. He passed out.
The easy wins he racked up led to a call from Middle Eastern organization Brave Combat Federation. He was scheduled to make his promotional debut against Benjamin Bennett in November 2018 at Brave CF 18. But Bennett withdrew from the bout and was replaced by undefeated 4-0 prospect Marko Kisic. Khamzat had some defiance from Kisic in this fight, who showed a will to compete.
But let's go, Khamzat.
And tried some bold moves during the fight, such as a triangle choke attempt. But he was no match for Khamzat, who finished Kisic by TKO. Again, an easy fight. He had a quick turnaround for his next fight. He took the bout against Sidney Wheel on short notice in December 2018, replacing injured Leon Alou. He finished Wheel in 35 seconds in the first round by technical knockout. It was becoming a recurring theme. Khamzat's opponents were simply no match for his strength, his will, and his wrestling.
The only thing I want is the belt in 77. The belt is belong to me.
After that fight came his biggest challenge up until that point. He was to fight Ikram Aliskerov in April 2019 at Brave CF 23. The fight was his debut at welterweight. Aliskerov was an accomplished wrestler himself and a former Sambo champion. He was undefeated coming into this fight with Khamzat, and everyone expected a tough brawl that would end with one of the fighters unconscious. They were right, but if they witnessed one of Khamzat's grueling sessions at the All-Stars gym, they'd know that it wouldn't be him that would be knocked out. To be fair, Aliskerov showed flashes of brilliance during the fight, exchanging fists, landing some leg kicks, and generally holding his own in the wrestling department,
He's undefeated.
denying
He
takedown attempts made by Khamzat. But then it came. After one exchange, Khamzat dropped Aliskerov in the first round with a vicious uppercut straight to the chin. Aliskerov went down already unconscious. The knockout earned Khamzat Brave's Knockout of the Night award. The Khamzat train kept on rolling with no signs of stopping. His next, and what would turn out to be his last fight for Brave CF, came on October 4th, 2019, against Zwan Dile Hulangwa on the Brave 27 card. Hulangwa also had a perfect record of 4-0 coming into the fight against Khamzat. From the start, Khamzat imposed his dominance. He started the fight with his signature move of feeling the opponent with a leg kick, then immediately diving for a takedown, which his opponents rarely succeeded to deny. After a first round where Khamzat was always on top of his opponent, the second round started in the same way. Only this time, Khamzat took his opponent down by first lifting him off the ground, hugging him, jogging over to his coach's corner, and slamming him on the mat so he could hear his coach dole out advice. Quickly afterward, Khamzat submitted Hulangwa with a Darce choke. After that fight, he was supposed to face champion Jarrah Al-Salawi for the Brave welterweight title in April 2020. Yet, due to the pandemic, the fight was postponed.
And then
it would be a lucky break for Khamzat, which would lead to his first step towards stardom.
Yep.
Khamzat's coach has for some time begged the UFC to take a look at his prize fighter. Unbreakable and unbeatable was what he was trying to convey to Sean Shelby and company.
We want to choose a weight and go for the belt in that weight.
Finally, the UFC would listen. Having in mind that Khamzat's championship bout for Brave CF was postponed, he was finally offered a UFC contract.
And I checked him out the first time before.
It was a short-notice fight to take place in July 2020 on Fight Island in Abu Dhabi,
it's cool to see his progress,
which would be